Hey, it's Tony and Mike's newest adventure. Here we go again. We missed last week because I was having computer problems, and that's the reason why we didn't do it. I don't know why, but I just could not bring up the Zoom. So here we skipped last week. I'm the one to blame. I'm sorry about that. Didn't mean
Now,
it.
we always joke about this, but this is the truth. We actually did get messages asking us if we were still doing the show. They were very concerned what had happened. So, and I'm not, we usually do this, we joke, and then at the end we say, oh, well, nobody wrote. No, we actually did get concerned listeners, viewers, asking why we didn't have a show. And I put on there because Tony couldn't turn his computer on. It wasn't that stupid. It was just you were having to reinstall Zoom and updates, and Tony got very frustrated and didn't want to have anything. I'm surprised that you still have a computer. I thought you would have thrown it through the window.
Well, it's supposed to make things easier, just press a button and then boom, you do it with the computer. Luckily, my son who's working from home, I hounded him this morning and he clicked a couple of buttons and next thing I knew I was back up again.
Okay.
So he's the IT guy,
All right.
but and no need to worry. If ever you not see us one week, folks, we cannot be fired. So we'll be back eventually. Don't worry about that. You can run, but you can't hide.
I know. That's the thing. That's when you're self-employed and you're not really making any money off of it. To tell you the truth, it's just the way that it is. So we're going to be here every other week, every week, once a month, whatever we feel like that particular time. So, yeah.
So there you go. But a lot went on during that time. We had a big snowstorm here.
Mhm.
We had like
Here too.
17 inches here in Connecticut. Some places in Connecticut, even more. It was the most crippling nor'easter that we have had in about 5 or 6 years. And it snowed for like 72 hours straight. It was really unbelievable. It really was. I saw that your hometown there in Illinois, they got hit pretty hard too.
Yeah. I know my mom and my dad were talking about over a foot of snow and what they were dealing with. Here in Pennsylvania, we got about a foot of snow
Wow.
also from it. What's interesting about it is that, it used to be when you would read the forecast days in advance, they were always talking like 2 to 5 inches, 6 to 8 inches. Now they really hold off. They wait until the very last minute. And this was a nor'easter. So, this storm, I'm always fascinated by it being in Colorado, and they can talk about snow from it for us days in the future. And that's kind of what this one was. It all had to do with where it was on the coast and how it was going to get hit. And now what do I hear? Tomorrow morning we're supposed to get something again, and there's another chance this weekend for more snow. So February's always that rough month when it comes to big snowstorms. We always
Yeah.
think, December, January. No, February. February is the month where we usually get hammered pretty good.
And we've been lucky these last couple of years. We really can't complain, but we still do. That's for sure. But like I said, we had 17 inches worth of snow here. Luckily, guys like me, I don't have to dig out or anything like that. The condo association handles that. But it was something else here. That's for sure. And like you said, there's more coming. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, you always said that when you were done and you were retiring, you wanted to go up into like Maine and just sit somewhere and just watch it snow, watch all the snow everywhere, because snow is great. Snow is fantastic. Just watch kids when they see snow and they're outdoors. When responsibility sneaks into your life, snow sucks. And there's no other way to put it. When you have to be somewhere, when you have a job that's dependent on roadways being open at ungodly hours, snow's terrible. And when they throw in the mixed precipitation and all that other stuff, it's awful. It's not
Yes.
not anything I want to deal with. If I could just sit and do snow angels all day, I'd love snow. I would love snow.
Well, those days are gone.
Yeah, I know.
Those days are gone.
Well, and now kids don't even necessarily get snow days. I mean, they just sort of do the remote learning. some schools, I know McKenna's had remote learning. They were supposed to be in class and it's like, no, just turn your computer on. Let's do some lessons. And, they don't have snow days.
Well,
Really much
here in our area, I had Channel 8 on for most of the storm, and Gil Simmons doing the whole thing.
What was
And
the outfit? What was the outfit? Did he
the
have
outfit was a jacket off, sport jacket off, sleeves rolled up, but the tie was still all the way up.
Oh, okay. So that's 2-footer. The tie's cocked and all. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
All
there you
right.
go. But we were watching it, and underneath, of course, they give the school delays, school closings, and all of that. And it was really weird. There was, you'd see Fairfield schools closed / remote learning. Greenwich schools closed / remote learning. It was like, whoa, this is,
You're-
but there still were quite a few schools that just were completely closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you used to read all the school closings. Now they have to add that in. Now
Yeah.
you'd have to be like, Greenwich schools closed, remote learning. Thank God we don't have to do that anymore, huh?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, it was it was weird, to see that, but yeah. So we were kind of snowed in there for a little while, but I got to give the DOT a lot of credit. I mean, they dug people out right away, and we lived pretty much on a main drag, and no problems. I mean, the cars were moving all night long.
Yeah.
The few that were out there. So DOT did a good job, that's for sure.
The
So
one good thing about not having a lot of snow up until February, they got a whole bunch of overtime hours to give out and a whole bunch of salt.
yeah,
So I mean, it's not remember that one winter where we were getting storms every
day.
week. By the end of the month, they were buying it from Canada to
Yeah.
bring it in. They were out. Now they're fully stocked. So
Sure.
you know,
Sure. But we'll see some more on the way as the week progresses. We'll do the best we can. Last time we were on, we had a couple of celebrity passings that happened. Larry King died of COVID-19. The big one that hit me was Hank Aaron. Hammer and Hank, one of my baseball heroes of all time. He's in my top 5 of favorite players, and he still holds the record for a lot of these records that they keep for baseball. I mean, he was a tremendous player and an activist, and he was big into civil rights, and he was quite a guy. He really, really was. Unfortunately, he got the COVID test or the COVID vaccine like 2 weeks before he died. But he was 86 years old, and I guess we can't live forever. But that kind of hit me hard. I was like, oh man, he was one of my favorites.
Yeah, a lot of people always bring up, Babe Ruth as possibly being the best that ever played. Hank Aaron, statistically, is right up there with the greats of all time. And I know that you still believe that he holds the record for the most home runs hit in Major League Baseball, and that
Sure.
Mr. Bonds does not have the award. But do you remember when Barry Bonds did pass Hank Aaron, and that Hank Aaron did have that tribute video that he put together that played at PNC Park after Bonds broke it, and it was almost kind of like, hey, if Hank Aaron's all right with it, I'm okay. Willie Mays is his godfather, so Willie Mays is drinking the Kool-Aid when it comes to Barry Bonds and didn't seem objective about it. But when Hank Aaron recorded that message and that message played, acknowledging Barry Bonds and breaking the record and whatnot, I wonder if he sort of in the back of his head was like, what am I doing here? This guy's a cheat. I shouldn't be acknowledging this. I don't know, but I just know that Hank Aaron is involved in one of the most recognizable videos in baseball history when he broke it, and the two people run up to him, and he's kind of like, kind of pushing them off a little bit, but at the same time not slugging them in the face or anything like that. But yeah, from what I hear, I mean, I don't remember watching Hank Aaron. From what I hear, he was one of the greatest and easily probably the most underrated because he's kind of like third or fourth when people start talking about greatest of all time. When if you look at his statistics, he's 1A, if not number one, when it comes to the greatest.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't get enough credit. That's for sure. He doesn't. I saw that when it actually happened. They
Yeah.
televised that game that night, whenever that was, 1976 or whatever it was. They televised it, and that was exciting stuff. But it was funny. Some sportscaster or some guy that was on the sports beat, he asked Hank Aaron one day, "Are you afraid of any pitcher? When you go up to the plate and there's a certain pitcher on the mound, is there one or two that you are afraid of them? Like, oh God, I got to face this guy." And Hank turned around, and rightfully so, with so much confidence, he said, "Dude, when I got a bat in my hand, I don't fear any pitcher." He says, I don't care. And it's true. The pitcher should be fearing him.
Yeah,
But,
and Jackie Robinson has talked about, of course, of breaking the color barrier in baseball, but Hank Aaron received numerous death threats when he was chasing Babe Ruth's record, and that's not talked about so much. Jackie Robinson sort of gets all of that credit for breaking the barrier, which he did, and there wouldn't be a Hank Aaron in baseball if it wasn't for Jackie Robinson, without a doubt. But when you're talking about a black athlete breaking the record of possibly the most iconic record of any sports, home runs in baseball, Babe Ruth, he was receiving death threats like crazy. And I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see how long it took for him to hit that home run. I mean, was there a long gap between the home run before that one and that home run? Meaning,
I don't remember.
I don't know, but I mean, it's just one of those records where you just kind of say to yourself, he was taking on a lot more than just a baseball record at that time.
Well, he was getting death threats. He was getting hate mail. And he said recently, "I saved every letter. I've got every letter, every hate letter that I ever got during that period. I've got it." And you got to remember too, Willie Mays came up in 1951. He had a head start on Hank Aaron, and it looked for a while there, when I was a kid, that Willie Mays was going to break the record. It was almost a foregone conclusion, and Willie just petered out, and Hank just, and I think he had he had to have a good 3 or 4 year start on Aaron, maybe even more. I'm not sure, but it was Hank that just like boom, he just took off.
Were they rivals? Or
well, I guess when they were playing each other, I guess they were, but I never heard of any, any trash talk or anything like that. But they were class guys. It was with them. I really do believe both of them. It was about the game. It wasn't about personal records, and it wasn't about who's getting more press or anything like that. I just think that they were, grateful to be where they were.
Yeah.
But
well, and sticking with baseball, nobody's going into the Hall of Fame next year.
No. The closest was Curt Schilling, and they're going to make him wait. They're going to make him wait. He's got a big mouth, and he says a lot of things that are like, dude, they're like borderline extremist, like a borderline. It's really strange. Some of the cracks that he makes, there's no room for that, I don't think. Anyway, but
Bonds and Clemens were close, but they didn't. They keep going up, a little bit. But Schilling made the comment that take me off. I'll go to the Veterans Committee. And what did baseball say? No, you're going to stay on. I mean,
they said you're going to stay on, and that's the end of it. So we'll see what goes on there. I mean, eventually, I think I don't know. They're going to make those guys wait. Those 3 guys are going to wait if get them excluded altogether. I don't know.
I think eventually the 3 of them go in.
Yeah.
I think the argument with those 3 is, with Bonds especially, most people would say that he was a Hall of Famer before he became the roided out athlete that he became.
Before his head became a basketball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Before the helium just started,
Yes.
but I'll tell you this, Tony, and in any sport, at least during the time that I grew up, I was born in 1975, all the way here to 2021. I don't know of in my lifetime watching the game. And maybe I'm sure it was this way back in the day when Babe Ruth played and when even Hank Aaron and all Willie Mays and stuff. I don't know if there was anybody who was more magnifying when it comes to watching a game than Barry Bonds.
I agree.
I was at a game down at in Washington, down at RFK, and San Francisco was the visiting team, and Barry Bonds was not playing. He was not in the lineup. And we were at the game. We wanted to leave. It's like, forget it. We don't care. It's the Nationals against the Giants. I don't could care less who won the game. We were just about to leave the park, and all of a sudden you could hear, like just like the crowd was just like all of a sudden was vocal. We're like, what the hell's going on? We walked back, and Barry Bonds was in the on deck circle, and we just stood there and watched him in the on deck circle. And I think he either ended up walking or something like that. But it was just one of those things where I don't know in my lifetime when it comes to watching games if there whether he was roided out or not, which it all appears that he was. He was really really good, and it's one of those things where I think the Hall has to they somehow have him, Clemens, and Schilling. I mean, Schilling was as much of an idiot as he acts. He was a heck of a pitcher, especially in the playoffs. I think those guys eventually get in, but I don't see Sosa. I don't see McGuire. I don't see
No,
those fringe roid
no,
athletes. I don't see those guys getting in.
no.
But I think
That's not gonna happen. So we'll see. Speaking of racism, there's a country singer. He's got the #1 album in the country right now, and it's been there for 3 weeks. I never heard of him personally, but apparently he's a big deal. His name is Morgan Wallen, and he's paying a huge price for getting caught using the N-word. And boy, they are punishing him for this racial slur video. His music is being banned by streaming services. CMT, the country music television station, has removed him from their platforms. His record label suspended his contract indefinitely. And the AMC's made him ineligible for this year's award cycle. And apparently, from what I saw, and I saw this on The Talk. Yes, you can take my man card away from me. I watched The Talk. But apparently on The Talk, there was a video of him walking with a friend, and it looked like they were in his driveway or something like that. And he let loose a couple of times, and apparently they got a hold of this video, and now he is finished. He is done. They are really going to make him pay for this. And of course, he let out a statement, and you got to realize this isn't the real me. Oh, who is it? I don't get it. But that was like his excuse, if you will. But that's it, man. There's just no room for that kind of talk anymore in this society. So.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's if somebody had a record of everything that we ever said in our entire lives, and I mean me, I mean you, I mean everybody who's watching this, there would be groups of individuals who would be offended by some of the comments that all of us have made at times. Whenever something like this happens, I think to myself, I always think of you like the music, you like the artist as an artist, but we don't know these people as human beings. We were just talking about, Hank Aaron. We were just talking about our favorite athletes of all time. We're talking about them as athletes. We're not talking about them as fathers, as sons, as husbands, as individuals. But there is a price for all of the fame and fortune that these individuals get for singing a song, writing a song, hitting a baseball. There is a price, and that is you have to live a life that doesn't cross certain lines. Yelling the N-word up and down a street with a friend is one of those lines. And, it's people talk about First Amendment rights and all that kind of stuff. Well, he's not being arrested. This is what bothers me about everybody screaming about the First Amendment. And you talked about this a few weeks ago. It protects you from what, persecution, or you're not going to get arrested for things that you say unless you incite certain things. But your employer doesn't have to keep you employed. Your landlord doesn't have to, you don't have those particular rights. You're just not going to get arrested. And in my opinion, when you're making that kind of money, you have to live a certain type of life. And I'm sorry, that's why, when they choose vice presidents, when they vet these people, because, and even when they're vetted by some of the best, things slip through the cracks and you find out about stuff about them after the fact. And then they have to, eliminate themselves from it, because there's just certain things that you have to be held to a higher standard. And that's one of those lines I don't think you can cross. And I don't expect him to make a comeback from something like this. I don't think.
No, not anytime soon. That's for sure. So there you go. And Nashville, it's a very small clique, and they work hard to put across that squeaky clean image. All of them do. I don't care if you're Willie Nelson, or if you're one of these new artists that come out. They all seem to stick together, and they all have this squeaky clean thing going on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's drugs and drinking and all of that. That
You mentioned Willie Nelson. I mean, are you kidding me with Willie Nelson? Squeaky image, Willie Nelson.
Well, you know what I mean. They try to portray a certain thing, and this just doesn't fit in to their act. This whole racial thing. So there you go.
You for country music? You're talking about for country music?
For country music.
Well, I mean, I would say that, a lot of the times country music, they sort of, the Confederate flag is in the background a lot of these country,
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. But I mean, the Bible Belt, the South. I mean, I don't know. I think the newer era of country music, yes, I totally, the all-inclusive. But I mean, there's a reason why. What was it? Darius Rucker was the first Black country artist to get #1
after Charlie Pride.
Right. I mean, there's a reason why there's only been one. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I understand what you're saying, but I think new country, I agree with you, the all-inclusive type of thing. But I would say a stereotype is that there is some racism with that. Maybe. No, I don't know.
I guess I
don't listen to country music. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Not the new country music. Now give me Merle Haggard. I'm with you.
I helped you get Merle Haggard music off of Amazon, right?
That's right, because I don't know how to order that stuff. Hey, what about Cloris Leachman?
Oh man, that's sad.
Yeah, that was, I know she was up there. She was like 96 years old, 94 actually, and she won an Oscar for The Last Picture Show. Other credits, of course, Mary Tyler Moore, Young Frankenstein, one of our favorites. She did Dancing with the Stars in 2008 when she was 82 years old. Mm-hmm. And I guess she just ran out of gas and passed away over the last couple of weeks. But she had quite a career. She was beautiful in all through her life. But in her younger day, my gosh, she was absolutely gorgeous.
Even in her 80s. She just, her physique was amazing. She was in shape.
Yeah.
So much in shape. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But she was 94 years old, and she was one of the ones you thought would just keep on going. Not too many left now from the original cast of the Mary Tyler Moore Show. I think it's only Lou Grant and Gavin MacLeod that are still kicking, but they're up there too, so there you go.
You mean Ed Asner?
I meant to say. Ed Asner.
Doesn't happen very often where I correct you on stuff from that because I'm like Lou Grant. I'm like, what?
And the funny thing is, they asked Ed Asner after she passed. They asked him for a comment, and he was like, "I really can't. You know, she was a beautiful woman, and she was a great actress, but I really can't comment." They were like, "Well, why?" Let's just put it this way: we were pretty close. We were very close. And I was like, "Oh, wow, okay."
Breaking news: Ed Asner and
Yeah,
Cloris Leachman were an item.
who would have known? You know,
Yeah.
but yes, but that was kind of sad. So
Yeah, it's almost like Betty White is just outliving everybody.
yeah, yeah. Betty White is 99 years old.
Yeah,
99. I mean, that's please
amazing.
unbelievable.
That is amazing. We're seeing a big trend with people being home now that they're sort of rewatching old television shows. Now we talk about the binging on Netflix shows and all these new shows that are out. You talk about new shows that you're watching and that you're binging. You're watching all the shows, but a lot of people are sort of going back and watching shows that they already watched. Like I just got done watching the whole series of House, and I watched that show when it was on regular TV, Fox, and the show about Dr. House and all that stuff. And I ended up watching it. Was it 8 or 9 seasons? Watched them all over again, and I don't remember 90% of the episodes. I don't remember. Like I remember certain ones, but 90%. So it was great. I'm watching. Now I'm watching The Mentalist, which I watched on television when it was on. And I'm watching that. I don't remember 90% of these episodes. So it's like new to me. But a lot of people are going back now and rewatching shows that they used to watch. And then other people are just sort of finding new shows and watching them. They say that there's different categories: super, super rewatchable. Now we talk about movies that you'll watch over and over again, but some people can watch television shows over and over again, like Seinfeld. I could watch the same episode of Seinfeld on 4 different networks over and over and over again. But the super, super rewatchable shows, Veep. I've watched
Never
a
saw
couple
it.
of episodes
Yeah,
of
never
Veep.
saw it.
I know you've never seen this show. I have, but I think it's very funny. Fleabag. That's
No,
on Amazon Prime.
no.
Not appropriate for kids. Just want to throw that out there. Not appropriate for kids at all. In fact, the first scene of the first episode is as inappropriate as it gets.
Never saw it. Go ahead.
And then Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
My mom loves that show. Loves that show. Have you heard about that show?
I've heard of it, but we haven't seen it.
You might want to. If my mom likes it, then you and Christy, I think would love it.
Okay. Because I know my nephew raves about it. So.
Yeah. Very rewatchable. New Girl. Did you ever watch that show?
No.
Breaking Bad. Did you watch that ever?
Never saw it, but I should see it.
It's on Netflix.
Okay. I'll check it out.
The Office.
Never saw it.
Oh my gosh.
Never saw
Really?
it.
Parks and Recreation
Never saw it.
and Friday Night Lights.
Never saw it.
All right. Moderately engaging when it comes to rewatchability. Mad Men. Have you ever watched Mad Men?
Never saw it.
The Good Place.
Saw it. Yes.
Okay.
That was a pretty good show.
The Americans.
Never saw it.
Community.
Never saw it.
With Chevy Chase.
Never saw it.
Boardwalk Empire.
Never saw it.
Justified.
Never saw it.
Hit or miss. Game of Thrones.
Never saw it.
Now, well, these are all shows that you should watch because apparently these are all rewatchable.
Okay.
Out of this list, these are the shows that I think you should watch. Okay, Schitt's Creek, Breaking Bad, The Office, Parks and Recreation, and Mad Men.
Okay.
I think
All right.
Mad Men you'd like just because of the nostalgia aspect.
Well, it's set in the 60s, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the first season I think does a really good job of sort of talking about the, advertising in that time and all that stuff. Then they just kind of go into their own personal stories and it kind of goes off from there. But the first couple of seasons of Mad Men, I think are really good. So,
Okay.
so yeah, I mean, like I said, there's all these new shows that are out there, but I just got done watching House. Now I'm watching The Mentalist. My mom sent me the entire set for my birthday. She sent me the entire set of Beavis and Butthead on DVD.
You're all set now.
I'm
You
set.
you can die a happy man.
I'm set.
Are you watching? There's everybody has a streaming service now.
Yeah.
All of these stations, and the Paramount Network they're gearing up. It's not. I don't think it's ready yet, but they're gearing up and they're advertising it, and they've got a very clever promo going on where all of these actors and actresses from different shows, they're climbing up the Paramount mountain. So you'll see Tom Selleck, he's going up the mountain. Snooki goes up the mountain. Characters from Star Trek, they're walking up the mountain. But I thought of you today because a commercial came on for it. And one of the actresses from Star Trek, I don't know who she is, but she's leading the pack. And they're going over this, they're trying to get on to the mountain. They're there now. They're trying to get onto it. And she steps on something and it's like ice and it kind of cracks and she backs off. And she says, I don't know if we can go this way. The ground is cracked. It's cracked. And Beavis and Butthead are standing there going, she said crack. Well, very, very funny. So we can't go this way. The ground it's cracked. She said crack.
That's classic. That's great.
Yeah, it never gets old.
I think I've seen it. I just didn't have the sound up when it was on. Oh, that's
they're great commercials. I mean, in one, Snooki is bringing up the rear. She's like the last one, but everybody's like, come on, let's get there, and they go to her and the guy goes, and Snooki. And she's like, it sucks. It was great. It was good. It's good.
Well,
stuff.
I mean, that's a good way. And it's funny because just by seeing a character, the show.
Right.
And now all those shows are going to be on there. Yeah, I know. And then I just heard Netflix is raising their rates.
Oh, really?
On theirs. Yeah. I mean, if you want to watch it on multiple screens and if you want their, the more popular package, it's going up. I think it's like $18 or something like that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. Why? I don't know why you do that now when you've got all these other options that have just come out where, people are going to be shopping, try and find the one that they want. It's funny you bring that up because Paramount, but you have HBO Max, right? Did you get that? All right.
Yes.
Well, there was a lot of criticism when Warner Media's decision to release all their 2021 movies on HBO Max due to the pandemic. Okay, we saw some directors that were upset about this idea and whatnot. But an executive says it was the right call because COVID-19 forced them to make lemonade out of lemons. Oh. He also noted that HBO Max subscription doubled in the last 3 months of last year. And he believes it was largely due to Wonder Woman 1984, which was released on HBO Max on Christmas Day. There aren't any actual viewership numbers at this point. There's no way to know if people signed up just because of Wonder Woman 1984, but I would assume that a lot of people did. So, I mean, it's just everyone's trying to have their own way to deal with things, and Disney, I think at first was like, oh, we'll put our whole catalog on it. We're going to beat everybody. And it's like, you got to come up with new stuff. People want to see new things. That's why The Mandalorian is so popular because, they decided to do new things and put them on there. So COVID-19's changed everything.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. So we'll see. The thing about HBO Max for us, which we didn't realize for weeks and weeks, if you have the HBO subscription, all you have to do is click a couple of buttons. I didn't do it. My son did it. And boom, there it is. And you get it for free. So that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's good. You get it free ever or just for a year?
No, I think it's, as long as you've got HBO service, you've got that
Yeah,
service,
yeah.
you're entitled to it,
Oh,
I
good.
guess. But I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll get you in other ways.
Yeah. Well,
So.
of course. Super Bowl on Sunday.
Mhm.
Who you got?
Eh,
Now,
you know,
I think if I remember, I think you predicted the Super Bowl correctly. I'm trying to remember
I
what
did.
teams we picked, but I think I picked Green Bay and Buffalo. I think is what I picked, and I think you went the opposite way and went Tampa Bay and Kansas City, and that's what we have. We have, for the first time, we have a team hosting the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
First time ever. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be playing in Tampa Bay. I know you're not a big Tom Brady guy. I know you don't like him very much. I got to be honest with you. I think it's really cool that he goes to a new team and they go to the Super Bowl, and the Patriots didn't even make the Super Bowl or the playoffs. I think it's really cool. I'm going for I'm going for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
All right, I'm going to take the Chiefs only because Tom Brady isn't there. So we'll go with the Chiefs. I like it.
All right, ready for yes or BS?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to talk about bubble wrap.
Okay.
Are you one of those people that
Yes.
I
Yes.
I see that as I see you. You are, as far as I'm concerned, folks, Tony's the human equivalent to bubble wrap.
Yes.
It's just annoying, but yet you can't stop. You can't stop.
Yes. I will squeeze that stuff to death. So
Apparently, last week there was a bubble wrap appreciation day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, now you know. All right, yes or BS, the way it's played, I make a statement. Tony tells me if it's true or not, but instead of saying true or false, we say yes or BS. Number one, bubble wrap was originally invented as a new type of wallpaper.
That sounds so ridiculous that I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The guys who came up with it in 1957 were trying to invent a cool new type of textured wallpaper, but nobody wanted it. Number two, the term bubble wrap is trademarked. There's only one company that can use it.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Yeah, it's true. The Sealed Air Corporation has owned the trademark since 1983. Everyone else has to use terms like inflated cushioning.
There you go. All right.
Number three, McDonald's was the first company to use it as packing material.
Yeah, okay. Just in general, right? Not so much. You never went there and got a Big Mac and it was
Right,
packed
just
in
to have
bubble
their
wrap.
stuff shipped from.
Right. I'll say yes. That
No, it's
sounds
BS,
legitimate.
Tony. It's BS.
Really? Okay.
IBM was the first company to use it. They needed a way to ship computers in the early 60s.
Okay.
Okay. Number four, the Guinness World Record for most people popping it at once is 2,681.
I think I was there. I think. I'll say yes.
No, it's not Fairfield County, but yes is the right answer.
Okay.
The group of Boy Scouts in Denver set the record back in 2015.
Yeah. See, once you start popping, it's hard to stop.
Isn't that something else? Isn't that a food? That's a food.
Yeah, I guess popcorn. I guess that's.
Once you
I
start
should-
pop.
I should patent that. Patent that phrase.
And number five, Bubble Wrap Appreciation Day was started by a radio station.
I'm gonna say no.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
A station in Bloomington, Indiana started it in 2001. After their new microphones came wrapped in it, they started popping it on the air. See, folks, and you thought what Tony and I did was stupid on radio.
We would have been hauled into a meeting if we were.
Oh
doing
my
that.
gosh! On the second pop, it would have been
Yeah.
you just would have heard elevator music, and it would have been us in the other room getting yelled at.
That's very funny. All right. What else? What else are we doing?
You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
I mean, we missed a week there. I mean, I thought.
No, I'm okay.
All right. Oh, you know what else I watched on Netflix the other day?
What's that?
Night Stalker.
Saw it. I saw it. It
Gosh,
was.
that's
I
scary.
thought it was disturbing, but it was really good.
Yeah, Netflix does a really good job of doing that kind of stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they did it with Ted Bundy. They did
Mhm.
it. People understand, or those executives at Netflix understand that there is a big audience for serial killers.
Yeah, and this particular one, uh, it was riveting because what's his name? Richard Ramirez, David Ramirez,
Richard Ramirez. Yeah.
Richard Ramirez. There was no pattern to him. I mean, he killed men, women. He would rape them, but let them live. He was a child molester as well. There was just like no pattern, and they didn't know where to go. Um, but it was disturbing. But I thought it was I
Yeah.
thought it was really good. And through the whole thing, I kept saying to my wife, the two guys that were on the case, the two detectives, they were pretty good. They were right on it.
Yeah.
But everybody else around them kept dropping the ball. If you get a chance to see it, if you haven't seen it, if you can stomach those kind of
Yes.
things, check it out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really
but I
good.
mean, they're doing this on all of them, and what's amazing about it is, well, that was in the '80s, wasn't it?
That was like
Mid
yeah,
'80s.
late 70s, early 80s,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you live through it, and everybody remembers Ted Bundy, everybody remembers the Night Stalker, and all that kind of stuff, but you don't know the details until these documentaries come out and you see just what police had to try and catch this guy, and how the media plays into it, and how government officials, and how especially with Ted Bundy, how back in the day, nowadays, once your picture goes on the news, it's all over the place.
Yep.
Back
Yep.
when Ted Bundy was doing his stuff, people in Florida had no idea what was going on in Colorado and all these other states, or Utah or whatever it was. They just don't know. So you can get away with that. So nowadays you can't. But yeah, I expect these documentaries to come on all of the serial killers.
Yeah.
So not for kids, but I just watched that one the other day, and it's like, whoa, that's
Yeah. And you know what kills me? They with this guy Ramirez, they kept emphasizing that he was a filthy pig. He smelled like a goat farm. Okay. All of his teeth were bad.
Mhm.
Okay. And I got to tell you, man, when they finally got him, he was an ugly bastard. But yet, at his trial, all of these women they want to marry him, they want to date him, they want to kiss him, they want
the bad boy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Now tonight, my wife and I, we're going to get in bed, we're going to watch TV, and the first thing she's going to say is, "Get away from me, your breath smells." And these women were ready to jump him.
Well, there you go. You need to be on trial for multiple murders,
Huh,
and you'll get what you want.
then I'll be attractive, right?
You'll be attractive.
No, it's not a funny thing.
No, it's not fun.
It really isn't. But
And like I said,
check it
it's
out.
very disturbing. It's
Yeah.
only for sick individuals like Tony and I.
Yes.
Did
Yes.
your wife watch it? Did
She watched it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
We watched it together. Yeah. It was
All right,
out.
let's do bad decisions.
Okay, ready? Bad decisions. Bad decisions. Mike Bellamy is here for you and me.
All right, so 2 weeks ago, we talked about my beard. Okay. It received not so good response on Facebook. A lot of our female viewers said it made me look old. And they didn't like it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, here we are. Mike is beardless. Mike is goateeless. What do you think? Do you like it? Now, what did you say? You thought I was on the lam?
When you first see it, it's kind of shocking because, he changed his looks because he committed a federal crime and now he's got to get out of the country. That was the first thing that I thought. But then on Facebook, there's a picture of you with your mask on and you've got this hat on. And it's like, I thought you were part of ISIS. I mean, it was, who is this guy? I mean, yeah, that's the one. I was like, what the hell is this? So you're a chameleon. You can change your look at any time,
Right.
and nobody would notice.
Well, this is, my mom loves this. It's not going to last. I'm growing my beard back, but it had to be It has to all be one length. That's why this went away.
Okay, all right. Because I told you, when you had the beard, you looked like the guy on the cough drops. You looked like
The Gordon Fisherman. I look like the Gordon Fisherman.
Yeah, if you had the right clothes, you looked like Benjamin Harrison or Rutherford B. Hayes. I mean, it was amazing, And now you're this clean cut kid.
I appreciate
don't
that.
know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the aging process can be tough on us all. There's a woman in Mexico who's been identified as Leonora N. And she was recently scrolling through her husband Juan's cell phone.
Okay.
She spotted a bunch of pictures of him with some younger woman. So Leonora did what lots of women would like to do to their husbands if they found pictures like this. She stabbed him. Well, he managed to grab the knife from her and then told her the woman in the pictures was her. He digitized some of their old photos together from back when they were younger, and she didn't even recognize herself. Now, we don't know how old they are now, but from the one photo circulating, I'd say late 40s or early 50s. Leonora was arrested and charged. Her charges are pending.
That's great. That's the best one I've ever heard. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Stabbed him for cheating with her.
Yeah.
Thank God.
What an idiot.
What an idiot. All right. So it's our, you know what I had this week food wise that I haven't had in a long time?
What's that?
A bowl of Campbell's soup.
Oh yeah.
I got vegetable soup at the grocery store, and I had a bowl. It was cold this week and snowy and stuff. I got a bowl of vegetable soup with some oyster crackers. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, I like Campbell's. The tomato soup.
Are the cans smaller?
Oh, everything's smaller, Mike. Yeah.
I mean, I got the cans, and I'm like, okay, this is like when you accidentally buy the Coca-Cola. That's the mini-sized Coca-Cola. And you're like, oh man, what? I thought I was getting a great deal on this. Yeah, I thought the cans are smaller.
Yeah, the cans are smaller. Yeah, but I enjoy Campbell's myself. But
Right.
And I think we should go with that. Let's go with vegetable soup. That's good.
Vegetable soup?
Yes, I like it.
All right.
That's the only time you get your vegetables.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, true.
That is true. Unless with kids you can trick them, but yeah, vegetable soup. It's the only time I'll eat lima beans is in vegetable soup.
Vegetable soup. There you go.
All right. Hope maybe we'll be on next week. Maybe we won't.
We'll see how we
can't make
feel.
any promises.
Yeah.
But like it, love it. Watch it on YouTube, watch it on Facebook, listen to it on Spotify, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good. Hey, Mike, love you. Good seeing you again.
Good seeing you too, Tony. Bye-bye.